All right, Bannock County Commissioners are back in session. This is to talk about taxes. Mr. Abram,
Yes, sir.
come on up. Okay, you met with us a few months back. You've met those obligations for 2019 taxes. Everything's been met?
Yes.
So this is, we're still behind in 20, 21, 22.
Yes.
And 23?
Well, 23s are not out yet. but
Not out yet.
Soon they will be, yes.
Okay, yeah, another month. Okay. All right, what's your desire, sir?
I hope you guys can help me because my income is very limited. I make $1,650 a month, and I have a lot of mortgage to pay. I have still mortgage for the restaurant, and I have the restaurant for sale. All these years, never been sold until now, and I wait just to sell the restaurant, then I can catch up. But it look like nobody buy anything or nobody sell anything. But I wish you could just take off the interest for this years, then I can, and I pay like $200 every month, so that's what I can afford. Even $500 was too much for me to pay.
Okay. Well, and I'll just tell you where I'm at.
Okay.
I have a very tough time keep having the taxpayers, those that are paying their taxes, subsidize everybody that's not paying. And after meeting with people time and time again, when are we going to catch up?
I'm waiting to just sell something, that's all. I mean, I don't have any income except what I get from the Social Security, which is $1,650. And I have a mortgage like $1,000, a mortgage. Then I have for the restaurant another mortgage $750. That's already wipe out all my income. But
And I understand that, and I feel sorry for you in that
every month
position.
I call my family just to ask for help, and I keep it up. I just pay the 2019. I also pay $200 from the time after this. I pay $200 every month. That's what I decide, and I call Miss Crest here, and I talked to her, and I said, I'm gonna pay $200 every month. That's what I can afford. But I wish if every year if I take that trip already cost like $300-400 to come here, to stay in a hotel, to pay for the hotel, to stay for the next day to travel, get somebody to travel to drive me from Emmett all the way to Bucatello. That's a lot of money too.
And that's true. But how long should the county keep doing this and not just take the property?
That's what. If you think that's the right thing, I don't know.
Well, that's my question, is how long do we keep doing this?
That's
Over and over and over again. I mean,
I said if you decided from now, every month from now on, I pay $200. If that will catch up.
Who's the property listed with?
Excuse me?
Who is the property listed with for sale?
Before listed was Ken, was real estate, call it Ken England. Now it's listed with somebody else because Ken England couldn't do anything. Now it's listed with a different company.
Who?
Oh, God. I have the phone number if you.
Do you know who it is?
I don't know. Last I've been in touch was with Ken
They
England.
call it gross something. And if I put my phone on, you can hear the company name, if that's what you want.
No, we're good.
okay. So, comments?
The only problem I see with the monthly payments from here on to the end of the year is $2,494.71 would need to be paid by the end of this year just to keep out a tax deed. So I don't know if that's a possibility, and that's with waiving interest. So I don't know if that's a possibility, but just paying $200 from here on out is not going to keep them out of tax deed, which is going to tack on several hundred more dollars. So really the only thing I would have to say is the 2020 taxes would need to be paid by the end of this year, and then a monthly payment plan. But doing 200 from here on out wouldn't work to keep them out of tax deed.
How much I should come up with? I can call my
It
family
would be
and find
just under
out.
$2,500 just to keep it out of tax deed by the end of this year.
2,500? That's fine. If that's what
And
I have to
then-
do, that's what I have to do.
Depending on what the commissioners would want to do, it'd be a minimum of $250 after that if they decide to grant you a,
Okay.
waiving interest or doing a payment plan. And I would also recommend, not having an end date to it instead of keep continuing on with the interest being waived if that's what you choose to do, or any sort of agreement.
So if he brings in the 2,500, let's just say today, that takes him out of the tax deed hearing in December.
No, we start tax deed process in January,
Okay.
and so that tax on, anywhere from $300 to $500.
Right.
That keeps them out of there. Then he'll have one more year to pay the 2021 taxes to keep out of tax deed, and that would be, I calculated it out, and he'd have to pay $250 a month, and that's with the interest being waived.
What's the mortgage on the property? How big is your mortgage on the property?
In the restaurant,
Yeah.
in the restaurant is $750 every month.
No, what's the total balance on that mortgage?
I think it's 53,000.
Further questions?
I'm thinking for a second.
Okay. Do you have any questions, John?
Not yet. Come up with one, buy me a minute, would you?
So, $2022 interest is $815.26.
2020's is, sorry, just the interest is $815.26 for
Yeah.
2020's.
And then late charges, so $24,445 is taxes.
Correct. We would request not to waive late fees and just do interest, though,
Okay.
just because of our system is a little more complicated than trying to just go in and waive or take out late charges as well. And that's a hard cost on us.
And so to come up to date, $250 a month and waive all the interest from 22, 20, or 21, 22, and 23. Yeah,
That would be our recommendation.
and that'd be the $250 a month that he'd have to pay.
But you're also talking about a $2,500 payment.
Correct. If he could pay the $2,500 by the end of this year, and then starting January, paying $250 a month with waiving interest, that would keep him out of tax deed for the following year. And that would give him
2,500?
I'm sorry,
2,500?
2,500.
Holy macron, where I got that from?
That's the only way to keep it out of tax deed without canceling.
What would the payment be without waiving the penalties and interest?
It would be,
Just roughly.
well, it'd be as of today, because interest, it's hard to say because interest accumulates every single day on it.
Correct.
But as of right now, it'd be, just for 2020s to keep out, or depends on
Well-
which way I calculate.
I'm kind of leaning towards, if he can bring in the 2,500 by December, we waive the interest for the 20, whatever brings in current, the 2020.
Okay.
But I would like to gamble a little bit and leave the penalties and interest on for 2021 and 2022 in the event of a sale, then we would get all of that back. So if we could potentially work out the $250 a month, but you see where I'm going with
I
that?
do. What about if you waived interest, if you were to keep making the $250 a month payments, but not waiving interest? And then if it did sell in this next year, we don't waive it for the sell? Does that make sense? So anything
That's what I'm going for. If it
Okay.
sells, I want to collect the penalties and
from
interest.
there forward.
Correct.
Okay. I think that that's fair and that would work. But waive interest up until why he's making the payments, is that correct? So charging him 250, or him paying 250 a month? Would you
No,
waive the
I
interest?
don't want to waive the interest
Okay.
at all.
Okay,
So if he's making the 250, it goes some to penalties and interest and some to the principal balance. Again, with the hope that we sell it next year
Okay.
and we can collect our full amount, because I think we've been pretty generous in waiving penalties and interest up to this point in time.
How much do you have,
could I tell-
how much do you have the
I'll
property
tell-
listed for?
Could I say something? Everybody who wanna buy it right now, he just wanna lease it.
Right.
He doesn't wanna even pay money. Like I have somebody who said, I lease it for 12 years, and I pay you $2,500 a month. But I lease it for 12 years, but then that's it. Then I don't, he doesn't owe me anything. And I have another guy, he said, oh, I lease it for 2,000 and I give it to you for 13 years. It's just, nobody wanna pay lump sum. That's why when I don't want to promise you something and I can't do it. Like you tell me if it's sale, then you're gonna take the lump sum tax and stuff like that. From where are you gonna take it if it's gonna give me at least just $2,500 or $3,000?
But if he leases it to you, then you've got the money to bring the taxes.
Yeah, but I can't pay it lump sum, like, but the $250 I can afford it, still keep continuing.
But again, if you lease it, then you have money to pay the loan payment and increase your payment to bring the taxes current. So I'm not asking for, if you lease it, I'm not asking for a lump sum to bring your taxes current. What I'm saying is if you
Okay.
lease it, then you come back and we readjust your payment.
That lump sum needs to be paid, or that sum needs to be paid by the first of the year.
Yeah, I'm not arguing, not
Okay.
talking about that. I'm
So
talking
he
about
knows.
next year, so.
so if we adjusted the payments to 300 and not waived the interest on that, then he would be okay throughout the year, next year. Instead of 250, if we did it at 300, that would cover the interest. So in the case of tax deed next year, he'll be okay. Does that make sense? So it keeps him out of tax deed.
How much is the interest for a year, roughly? Ballpark
Right
it.
now, I don't, $700 a year maybe. Just varies.
There's the interest for the last.
Yeah, yeah.
John, you had a question?
Yeah, how much,
Believe me, right now.
Okay, just a sec, he's got a
how much,
question.
are you how much are you trying to sell it for? What do you have it listed for?
I listed listed for 250. When the real estate came and looked at the place, he said, that's very cheap. That's why everybody's scared to buy the building. Now they listed for $300,000.
I think we just actually found your realtor on here. Cushman's, Remax?
Exactly.
Okay, 390,000 is what it's on. Remax for.
I'm sorry?
390.
That's what they have it listed at?
And I asked for 300,000 only, and she said this is low price, and everybody come to the building, they scared to buy it because this is look like it's not restaurant with full equipment. Just the hood cost me $60,000 to put it down.
Well, could you handle 300 a month on the payment like she was talking about?
200,
300?
that's fine. I can come up with it. It's just
But you
something I can
you gotta come up
with.
with $2,494.71 before December 31st. That amount has to be paid first, or you go in tax deed. That's where you're at right now. That amount has to be paid, and then we'd start talking about the 300 a month.
If I open my phone, I show you what I ask my family to send me every month, and you can see it, how much they send me every month, just to be able to cover my bill.
And I understand that, and I have compassion for that. but we're still going back, that if you don't pay the $2,494.71 by December 31st, then we go into auction. So we're just talking about, right there, that's just 2020s. And Jeff's going back into 21, 22, and 23, that's what the $300 is paying.
Right.
Anything?
So, here's where I'm at. Again, I go back and if we can get the 2,500 by December, I'm okay with that, to waive the penalties and interest for that year, so that'd be the 2020 taxes, as recommended. But then I would propose that going forward, we keep the payment at $250 a month, which I know will not address the interest.
Okay.
But we leave it at $250 a month, and then should there be a sale or a lease, then we come back in and renegotiate the payoff at that point in time, because I'm not willing to do the penalties and interest where it's on the market.
So, that recommendation with these, take one out. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not, yeah, I'm not gonna do number one
Yeah.
on 20 and 22, I won't do that. But everything else, yeah, everything else works. So, just to be clear then, I am accepting the treasurer's recommendation of number one, that $2,494.71, or I'm moving, there we go, I'm making a move here, to accept recommendation number one, that $2,494.71 be paid by December 31st to waive the late fees on the 2020 taxes. And then we will accept $250 a month payments for the 20 and 21 taxes.
21, 22.
Yeah, 2021 and 2022 taxes. If there are two missed payments in a row, then this payment agreement is null and void. And then number four, after those things are paid in full, no future arrangements. And then number five, that you will continue to actively try and sell the property.
Could we add on lease the property?
Yes, just sell or lease the property. And then as a subset of that, if the property is leased, that will readjust the monthly payment.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay?
Okay, I guess.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Leslie Hill is next. All right.
Good morning.
You have the floor for a minute.
Okay. You all very kindly met with me a few months ago, and you agreed to part of what I had asked for, which was very, very helpful. And part of that agreement was that I would make a certain amount of payments within 90 days, which I did. And so that's all done. And now I'm coming back to ask for the other half of my first ask. There hasn't been much change, but there was one change to my circumstance, and so I wanted to be able to share that if I may. Give that to them, and I have one for each of you. And the main thing that you'll see here on the first page is that I did not realize that I had qualified for Medicaid from the state of Idaho because of my low income, and I was informed of that a couple months ago. So starting in August, the state is now paying the $164, which would be my Medicare premium, and so that increased that income a little bit. Of course, the cost of living has been increasing steadily throughout the year, so it changed a little bit of what my situation was. And I just didn't want to be unfair or unclear about being transparent. But the last page of this goes back to my original ask and my continued ask. Due to very low income and also because of the circumstance of not having the counsel from an attorney or from other places to know how I could get the property put in my name, even though I've lived in the property the entire time since 2010, where I cared for my parents through their end, and then the property was willed to me. I didn't have the property in my name till this year, and so I was being charged the non-owner double amount. As you can see on that page, I have paid the doubles in 2016, 17, 18, and then I paid half of 2019. So if I had not been charged that second amount on those years, I would have been up to date. And with not being able to work now, and I'm not saying I'm an invalid, I work very hard at my house to take care of it, et cetera, but with my eyesight and some of the other things and my age, I'm now fully retired. So it becomes very difficult to catch up on these. And had this not been the case, that I was double taxed, then that would never have occurred. And so I am asking if it would be possible to, at this time, to take away the 21 and 22 taxes in whole, not because I'm trying to do this county out of, it's a good county, I want to do my fair share. You can see the amounts I was paying while I was working were considerable. And I also paid my parents' other property, all their taxes in full. They had a property in Island Park, which I know doesn't affect here, but it was my siblings who each got an equal share of that when it sold, but it was me who was paying the taxes all along. So it's been a bit of a, and I would really like to try to find a way to live on the income that I have now from Social Security without these additional burdens. And then when 23 taxes come up, I can start doing those kinds of payments in a proper way. So that's what I'm asking for.
So is the property in your name now?
It is. It has been since, I think it's April.
And then you're able to file for the homeowner's
Homeowner's
exemption?
exemption will be on there for next year.
Yeah, I filed that already. So we'll have that corrected. But it just was something when I had asked before, and I had an attorney who never mentioned it, that I could do quick claim deed with my siblings and then get the property in my name. They were all willing to do that, and we did it in a short order once I kind of got some information. And then when I asked, okay, if this is a possibility, how do you do it? And then I was given copies of the quick claim deeds by Misty, and I sent them to my family. And if I had known that back in 2015 or 2016, this wouldn't have occurred.
And I appreciate that, but you said you was double taxed.
Well, I feel I was double taxed because I was always living there.
Okay.
And so I was the homeowner. I shouldn't have been paying.
But just for the record, you weren't on the title.
I
So
wasn't
you
on
were
the
not the
title.
homeowner, so you were never double taxed. Just for the
Okay,
record,
I'm
you was
sorry. I
never
don't mean to say it
double
wrong.
taxed.
Yeah, I don't mean to
Okay.
say it wrong.
Yeah.
Had the information been given to me correctly, it's not your fault, it's not anybody in this room's fault, but I didn't know about the quick claim process. And had that occurred, then the county never would have added on that non-homeowner exemption. They never would have taken away the homeowner exemption. And then I wouldn't have been taxed that additional amount.
Okay.
So I apologize, I don't mean it to sound wrong.
I just want to make sure that we know that you were not double taxed on the record. Comments? Misty?
I wrote up some stuff for you so you could see if there had been a homeowner's exemption on there, what that amount would be. Canceling the 2021s would cover that amount, and then she would just have the 2022s and going forward. I don't know if that's an option that you're wanting to look at or just waiving interest from here on out. But had the homeowner's exemption stayed in place canceling just the 1 year would equal that amount for the years that are sitting on there.
I apologize, I haven't seen that, so when I did my numbers, I saw that I had 5 years.
Well, we'd already canceled last year's for you, and so that took out,
But I had paid half of 2019.
correct. but then-
Okay.
Okay.
So I just
canceled,
hadn't
it
seen
kinda
the
wiped
numbers,
it
so
out.
I may have my numbers
We
off,
can't
but-
go back like that
Yeah.
many years
Yeah.
trying to figure all that out.
Right, no, I understand.
Well,
But I just
there's
don't know how I-
responsibilities that every party has, so.
Yeah.
Questions, comments? I don't mind reclamation number 1. Just because.
She also, I just wanted to put out there, we missed the PTR for 2023 by like 3 days when all this was happening. We got our paperwork in that day, but it had to actually, the name change, we missed it by, it was just a couple days. Or she probably would have qualified for PTR for 2023s as well. But now she needs to wait for 2024s. Just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
I'm feeling very generous at the moment, Mr. Chair.
Tell me what you want. Tell me what you're thinking. You've heard my discussion.
I know, I know. But there are some times when the compassion outweighs sometimes, and so, Mr. Chair, I would move that we waive everything and let her start fresh in 2023 and keep it current. Because I don't see where she can live off of, if that is truly her net income, I don't see where she can live if we don't do something like this. And I'm not in the business of taking people's homes. I've been accused of that before, but I am not in that business.
It's a little scary out there sometimes, but
It is right here too.
I'm sure it is.
John,
I would go with what Jeff proposes.
give me a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we waive everything owed and let her start fresh in 2023.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Good luck.
You have no idea how much that means. And with all the rain the last couple days, I gotta work on my roof. Thanks, gentlemen.
Good
All
luck.
right. Jeffrey and Tina?
It's actually James James Johnson. So Jeffrey and Tina is
Oh,
in
care
their
of
name.
James Johnson.
James
Oh,
Johnson was in
okay.
here before, yeah.
Okay, need to go down another line.
I was coming in to see about the backhoe taxes that are still owed on it. I can't remember what years are left.
We've got 2020, 2021, and 2022.
And I was wondering if you could waive the interest on probably the first year and the one that's coming up now, because I'm in the middle still trying to get Derek Janot, their son that it was willed to get the quitclaim deed, but we need his sister to go in and file in where she says that she doesn't want anything to do with the property and stuff. Trying to find her has been fun. And he doesn't live in Idaho anymore. And so I went to her last known address. He's emailed her and tried to get a hold of her, and she hasn't responded or anything. They've been estranged as like siblings for years. And so trying to get a hold of her has been kind of a pain to get the actual quitclaim deed done, because originally I had it all filled out and stuff and was getting it all taken care of right before he left, and I'm not sure what my father did, but he took most of my paperwork and caused a major problem.
So, how generous you feeling now?
Not quite.
So we can rest this real quick.
So if it goes back a little bit to the first one we had, if you go to the recommendation number 2, you cancel $505, and then he makes payments and does all the other things.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
John, questions?
No.
Concerns? So, from your recommendations, recommendation number 2 is to cancel the 2022 taxes and late fees in the amount of $505.02, and then go to the following conditions. Pay $50 a month. Payment for the 21-22 taxes will begin January 2024. This will keep the property out of tax deed for the 21-22 tax season. If there are 2 missed payments in a row, then this payment arrangement will be null and void. After the 2020, 2021, and 22 taxes are paid in full, I guess it'd be 21 and 22, paid in full, this arrangement will end and no further arrangements will take place. And pursue getting deed to the house in your name, and encourage to have it resolved by the end of the year. I'll make that in a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Did you understand what we did?
Yep.
All right,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Will you be waiving the interest, sorry, for subsequent years?
21 and 22? Nope,
Okay.
we didn't take one.
Okay.
Same as we did on the first one. All right. Yakovec? Hello. Third time's a charm.
Yeah, well, I'm asking to have, I don't know, all of the fees. I just want to pay just the taxes and pay them up current. But I only have 15,000 saved. But I think I don't know that I can finish this year with that, but I can make payments. I just want them all caught up. Biden's gonna make me pay my student loans.
Good. You're the wrong person to bring that to. Good.
It was a joke.
I believe that everybody should pay their student loans.
Yeah, we took the money out. I mean,
lot
school
of them
shouldn't
didn't use
be
it
so
for education.
expensive, but if you ask for the money and you agree to pay it back, you pay it back. But yeah, that'll be my only bill that I have left if I can get these taxes taken care of. It's just, then I can focus on getting my student loans. It's only 11,000, but, so I got that nice big bill to do. But I think these are more, and so those.
So when would you pay this by?
If is 15,000 of it today.
Oh,
15,000?
We're not asking for 15,000, are we?
No, your total is $11,670.76.
Oh crap, I got it. That's with the fees and stuff taken off, or?
No, you also left me a check
Oh yeah.
weeks ago for,
Well, I was.
for $2,649.38, and that's for the base amount of the taxes for 2020, so I've been holding it for the meeting.
Yeah, I was counting that.
So I'm not, I didn't know about any of this,
So what's the total owed?
Total load as of today is $11,670.76. That's with interest, everything.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'm feeling generous enough that if you can write us a check today, I would take off the interest.
You can't do the fees. Well, it takes
We
costs
have-
money to
we have
bring me
costs
here.
with the fees.
Okay,
It's pretty minimal on the late fee. It's the
Okay.
interest that's the high one.
that's hurting me. Yeah,
Your late fees are less than $200.
oh, okay.
But if he takes off the interest, that'll save you another.
And that'll give me enough that I can get, because I'm gonna have 2024 coming right up.
2023s, those are not out yet.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, make a motion?
So, Mr. Chair, I would move that if she can pay the outstanding balance on the taxes and late charges today, I would be willing to waive the interest owed on all on the 2022, 21, and 20.
Any questions?
Nope.
Motion, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Well,
All
thank you
right.
so much. Let me go get you a different check.
Okay,
Meet you down
I gotta go
there.
grab a check from the bank, and so I'll be back downstairs. So, thank you.
Central Christian Church,
Good morning, everybody.
hello.
So I'm here to ask,
Please introduce yourself.
I'm Deborah Hitchcock. I'm the one and only in the church as this moment, this whole year, because Pastor Bray did retire in December of last year.
Okay,
This is the first year that you're all doing the taxes online. It totally slipped my mind. I did not get a reminder, which I do on a lot of other things. And then I made an appointment, and with me being the only one in the office, it's really hard to take the time to come down and deal with this. But here I am finally. So my tax exemptions have changed from last year. It's only the property at 141 North 9th Avenue and the property at 140 North 8th Avenue that we're asking for exemption, because all of the other employees on the other properties that were exempt last year have moved away. And so I'm just asking to get those two exemptions put into record for the next year.
okay, one's a parking lot and two houses, two
There's a,
staff housing.
yes, there's the whole block of North 8th Avenue from Center to Clark. And that consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rentals. We only want to exempt one. And the parking lot, of course.
Which one do you want to exempt then?
The
'Cause
140, I don't have my glasses, so if you could help me out.
I have two of them here. That's why,
140, North 8th.
And then my house is at 141 North 9th and the parking lot on that side of the place.
okay, so there is two houses and one, so there's three exemptions, is what
Okay.
you're asking for, okay.
I usually put this all in a map and highlight it out and send the explanation with the paperwork and be
So-
done.
I guess my question is, why is staff housing exempt?
Because with me being the secretary, I also am the sort of property manager, so if there's a leak or a gas pipe that breaks, they call me, I call the necessary utility to have them come fix it. So they asked me to stay on the property, so I'm in close proximity. The other one is the janitor, and he takes care of the church building, so we had a pipe break a couple months back, and it wasn't the first time, but because he was right there on the property next to the church, we were able to go in, get it repaired with minimal damage.
But you're employees of the church,
Yes, sir.
and this is in lieu of salary?
No. We still pay rent.
Okay,
But
that's
it's
the
just-
magic
it's-
word right there.
I understand.
Because if you pay rent, then they're not tax exempt.
But it has been all these years.
Oh, we have quite a few that have been tax exempt for a lot of years, and we're going through and
Well, it's a
asking the
stipulation
questions.
of my employment to live on the property as a member and a staff.
Well, I think I want to get my legal
Okay,
counsel on this. And I'm not trying to be harsh, but
I understand.
we have a group that had millions of dollars of properties that we canceled all theirs, and they've been tax exempt for a lot of years. And we're going to court over that one. But we're asking tougher questions now.
Okay.
It's just like I say, we got a lot of people, a lot of property in Bannock County that people don't pay taxes on. And I don't think it's fair to the other taxpayers.
No, it
It's
isn't.
just- So I would like to, you won't have to come back, or you can if we want you to and ask questions, but I want to ask our legal counsel, that word right there, we pay rent, makes a
Well,
difference to
mine
me.
comes out of my paycheck.
It's still rent.
Gotcha.
It's not in lieu of salary, it's still rent.
So if it were in lieu of salary, then that you
That
have
that
no
would,
issue?
that would still be a compensation,
Got it. I'm just trying
That
to
I-
wrap my head around the.
so am I, so am I.
Thank you.
And so, like I said, we've had a lot of people that, the parking lot is part of the church. That's exempt.
Gotcha.
I mean, there's no question there. You're not getting rent on the parking lot. You're
How
not.
much rent are you paying on the property?
I pay 7, 140 pays 9.
700 a month?
And that
So it's
just
not-
happened.
I was just trying to see if it's below market, then maybe we can get by with that, but that's kind of a market rate.
It was only 475 up until this year.
Right, right. So that, the adjustment shows me that it's probably at a market rate for
Yeah.
rent. So I would agree with Commissioner Moser on that. Let's get a clarification from legal
Okay.
and just go from there. So it's not a yes and it's not a no. How's that?
Perfect. I like those maybes.
All right.
Gentlemen.
Thank you. With that being said, we are